So I've already done the program. So I'll first run the program and I'll show you what we are supposed to do so that you will get an idea about what is a list view and how it works. Basically, this list view component is used whenever you want to display a list of items. Now, as you can see here, this is a list of cities I mentioned, and whenever you click on anything, pop-up window is coming, that is a toast is coming saying that click on so and so, that particular city name will come. Now suppose if you want to write a program in such a way that when you click on or select some cities, if you want to go to some particular page, that can also be done. So that also I have done it here, like this second item in the list is next page. When I click on that one, it goes to the next page. That is just to show that by whenever you click, only message is not the only thing which can come. Also, you can decide that after clicking where to go, what to do. That depends on completely on your logic. Okay, so this is something that we have to implement today. Okay, first we'll go to the file, new project, empty activity, give a name, finish. First thing is that we have to prepare the string.xml file. So we need a list of cities which we want to display. So I'm going to put the entire list of cities inside the strings.xml. You can actually mention all the cities in the Java code also, but as I mentioned earlier, that it is always better to keep the resources separately from your coding. So I've already prepared that one, so I'm going to just copy that one. Now the first thing is that app name, list view demo, one text field we need, one label which will display a message saying that list of cities, and then comes the array. So we will have to create one string array whose name is array underscore cities, and inside that one we have to add item. So between the item tag you have to mention the city name. So this is the beginning of the tag item, and this is the closing of the item tag. So in between I'm giving the city name, like Bangalore is there, Mysore, Chitradurga, Dharwad, Belgium, and so on. And at the end you have to close the string array tag also. Once we have done with that one, then we have to use this one in our Java code. Okay, we'll go to the design part. The first is that we have to add one label. So I'm going to add it, resize it, add the text, go to the text property, ampersand list. Then bind it from two directions, one from horizontal and one from vertical. Change the font size. By default it will be 14, so I'm going to make it as a 30. Let it be 36. If you want, you can resize it again, no issues. Done. Now the next is we have to add list. Go to the legacy, click on that legacy in the palette. You will see that list view option is here. Just drag and drop. By default it will match the parent. That means it will cover the entire screen. We don't want that one, so I'm going to resize that one. And once I resize it, I'll bind it. Okay, so this was the design part. Now hold on a second. Okay, fine. For this list we have to give one name. By default it will be empty. As you can see here, ID is empty, so I have to give a name. So I'm going to give that name. The same name will be used in the Java code to create a connection between the design part and the coding part. Okay, I have to add one more page. So right click on the layout, select new, go to activity, select empty activity and give a name next page. You can give any name, it's your choice. Okay. Now the first thing is that we have to identify the list view component of the design part in the coding part. So that we have done. First thing is that you have to create an object of that class. That is a list view, that is a class. So I'm going to create an object of that class, that is list view underscore cities, and then use the find view by ID along with r.id dot the ID name. So what happens here is that the component list view in the design part will be mapped with the object that we have created in the Java file. So from now onwards, whenever you want to use the list view in the design part, all you have to do is that you have to use this list view underscore cities. So every time you use this particular object in the Java code, it will be referring to the list view in the design part. Now that was the first thing. Second thing is that we have created an array in the strings.xml. So that is one of the resources. So we have to fetch that array in the Java code. For that, we have to use this particular line. The first thing is that that's an array. So when you fetch that one, you have to store it in an array. So first, I'll create one string array with the name cities, which is equal to get resources dot get string array. Get resources means the strings.xml is one of the resources. So we are getting that resource. So that is get resources dot get string array, and inside that one r dot array dot and the array name which you have given. Now if you go to the strings.xml file, you will see that array name we have given as array underscore cities. The same you have to use it here, array underscore cities. So when you do that one, whatever you have mentioned, the list of cities, that will be fetched and that will be stored in the array cities. Okay. Now we have a resource file which contains the resources. In this case, resource is the list of cities, and we have a UI component, user interface component, list view. Now we have to create a bridge which will be used, which can be used to display the contents of the resource. The resource file could be anything. Resource could be a from an array which already contains the data, or which is something is in the database. So if you want to pull some resources and display it on the list view component, in that case you need to create a bridge, and that bridge is created using the array adapter. So you can say that array adapter is a bridge between the data source and the UI component. Here we are not dealing with the databases, so the data source here is the array cities and the UI component is the list view. So this array adapter takes 3 parameters. The first one is the page where you're working, that is main activity.this. Second one is the layout, what kind of layout you want, android.r.layout. When you click on this dot, you will get plenty of options depending upon the API version, depending upon the Android version. So I have selected this simple list item 1, simple underscore list underscore item underscore 1. When you type that layout dot, it will give you plenty of options. You can explore them, like which layout is used and what is the purpose of different layout. That I'll leave it to you as an exercise. For the time being, I'm going to use this one, simple underscore list underscore item 1. And the third parameter is the data source, where the data is. So in this case, we have stored the resources in the array cities. So that is mentioned as the third parameter. Okay. Now we have created an adapter. Now next thing is that we have to create the bridge. That bridge can be created using the list view dot set adapter of the adapter name which you have created. As you can see here, adapter is equal to new array adapter, and then we have declared no. So we have to use this name and set it so that the bridge can be created. Now the next is whenever you're clicking on that list view, we want to identify which particular item you have selected. Now we all know that when you store anything in the array, we can fetch it using the index, because arrays are indexed data type. So if you want to fetch the first item, in that case it will be array of 0. If you want to fetch the second item, in that case array of 1, then array of 2, 3, 4, and so on. But you have to remember that the array index in Java starts from 0, right? Now whenever you click on that item, because list view contains the item, we want to write some code which will identify which particular item you have clicked. So I'll write list view cities, that is the object of list view which we created in this Java file, dot set on item click listener. Here the word itself mentions that what we are trying to do. Please read that carefully. Set on item click listener. So far we were doing on click listener only, but this time it involves the item, so we are going to use the different method here, that is set on item click listener. The moment you type it, you will get the options. I'm going to just show it one more time so that you will get a better idea. See, as I can, if the moment I type a couple of letters, it will give the suggestions. Dot set. So far we were using the second one, that is on click listener. Here we are dealing with the items which we will be displaying in a list. So we will have to select the first one, set on item click listener, and here we are using the adapter view. So type adapter view. The moment I type, it's giving the option. The first one itself we have to select adapter view dot on item click listener. As you can see, the entire code is generated, and here we have to write the coding part. Right now, when we type this one, we actually the thing is that to make the program understandable, so instead of I mentioned it as a position. So if you want, you can keep that one, no issues. Let it be there only. Yeah. Now, the moment you click on this one, click on any item, this particular function will be activated and it will execute. Now we want to display a message, that is toast dot make text. The first parameter is the class where you are working dot this. Second is the message that you want to display. You can say that clicked on. Sorry, you have to write it in a double quote. Clicked on. Now, I don't know which item you are clicking, but I know that that entire item, the list of cities, is stored in an array, right? So array name I know, and whenever you are concatenating any two strings, you are using the plus symbol. So I'm going to write plus, then cities, that is the array name. Then I'm going to say the I. I is the one which actually mentions the position, which index, right? Then toast dot length. I'm going to keep it as long, and then close it dot show. Now this one, what will happen is that when you click on any item, set on item click listener, this function will be activated, and in that one we are displaying one toast message. Now in the toast message, we are displaying one message clicked on, and then we are concatenating the array ith item. So where this I is coming from, I is coming from here. Every array will have indexes and it starts from 0. Suppose if you clicked on that first item, in that case the I value will be 0. If you click on the second item, the I value will be 1. If you click on the third one, I value will be 2. So this one will fetch the exact item on which you clicked, and then it will retrieve the text and it will concatenate with the message clicked on, and then it will concatenate. Suppose if you clicked on the Bangalore, in that case it will display a message clicked on Bangalore. If you click on the city name Mysore, in that case it will say clicked on Mysore, and so on. Now this was the simple one. Let's say suppose if you want to go to the next page depending upon the selection. So in that case you have to use that I value. That is, if I is equal to, let's say if I is equal to 1, I've already written the first item, second item is the next page. So that's why I've selected the I is equal to 1. Now if you have any specific, like for different cities, if you want to go to different pages, in that case you can write the code accordingly. I'm just going to show you how to fetch that whatever the user has clicked, and depending upon that and take the action. So it's just one demonstration only. Intent in is equal to new intent main activity dot this, comma, where you want to go next. Sorry. Next page dot class. The next page is the second page we have created. I will just run the program and we'll check whether it works or not. When you click on the Bangalore, the message is getting displayed. Click on Bangalore. Click on Dharwad, Mangalore, Kodagu. Now, if you look at the code, I have mentioned that if I is equal to 1, then go to the next page. So this is an array. The first item is the Bangalore, that is, it is at the index 0. Next page is at the second position and index value is 1, which is represented by I. That is, if I click on the next page, it should go to the next page because I've written the code. If I is equal to 1, go to next page. So I'll just click on that one. So it's going to the next page. Of course, I didn't mention anything in the second page. It's empty, so it's there. You can put one message there saying that welcome to the second page and something like that. Okay. Okay. To make this program look easy to understand, instead of I, we will say position.